It is strange that a woman can do everything right and then still walk into a fertility clinic only to be told she's not a good candidate, that she needs to harvest as many eggs possible, and that IVF is her only shot. But what if her body wasn't broken? What if no one had looked at her thyroid, inflammation, gut health, or hormone function? How does a system that's supposed to offer hope miss so much? Today, on Fertility and Wholeness, we're talking about the quiet gap in fertility care and one woman's story that reveals what's missing and what's possible when we start asking better questions. I'm Mariana. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Fertility and Wholeness Podcast. Are you tired of seeing that test be negative month after month? Will you ever stop having to take test after test? Are you scared of all the medical terminology, office visits, and misinformation you see at every turn on your infertility journey? If you answer yes to any of those, you're not alone. You are at the right place. I'm so happy you're here with us. My name is Ariana. I'm a fertility care practitioner and a wholeness coach with over a decade of experience on the field. I created this podcast because I know what it is to feel alone and lost while navigating fertility problems. And after helping hundreds of women, teaching them how to not protract their cycles, boost their fertility, and navigate their monthly emotional roller coaster and get pregnant naturally, I am on a mission to empower women to take charge of their fertility journey. In this podcast, you will find heartfelt conversations, education, tips on how to take care of and understand your fertility, emotional support, simple lifestyle changes to boost your fertility, nutrition, self-care routines, tips for handling stress and anxiety with ease. We have amazing, exciting expert interviews and guests, inspirational stories, and practical advice on preparing for pregnancy and joyful delivery. Are you ready to reclaim your health, your life, and become pregnant naturally? If so, grab your green juice and prenatal vitamins. This episode is just what the doctor ordered. Before we dive into today's conversation, I want to speak to your heart. If you ever walk out of a fertility clinic and felt like you were handed an statistical expiration date, or worse, a sentence, this episode is for you. You're not broken, and this number, 35, is not your doom. Today, we're going to talk about the so-called fertility cliff, the age-related stats that you hear from reproductive specialists. The full story matters more than just a number on a lab report. Let's get started. You probably heard it. Once you hit 35, your fertility falls off a cliff. Now pass with me. Does your body usually fall apart the night before your 35th birthday? Do all your eggs wake up and say, "Whoop, I guess we are expired now"? Of course not. It is not a cliff. It's a continuum. A gradual process, not a catastrophic drop. Here is what's happening. In plain English, as women, we're born with all the eggs that we're ever going to have. Over time, we lose them through ovulation and a natural process called atresia. Alongside quantity, egg quality also declines, but it's not a straight line. In your 20s and early 30s, the decline is slow, really slow. Yes, changes accelerate as we move through our 30s and our 40s. But we're talking about probabilities, not impossibilities. Even in your 20s, the so-called prime, 20 to 30% of embryos formed from your eggs may have genetic abnormalities. That's normal. Nobody has 100% perfect eggs. At 35, about 30% of embryos may be abnormal. At 38, it is closer to 50%. At 40, around 70% may be genetically abnormal, but that means 30% are still viable. So no, you don't fall off the cliff. You're still in the game, but you do need to understand the rules of the game. And that's what the real support comes in. So let's talk about something I often see. A woman walks into a fertility specialist office full of hope and walks out with numbers, percentages, and that feel like a failure. And if that is you, if you have walked out of the office holding numbers that make you question if your body, your future, your faith in the process. I want you to know you're not alone and you're not a failure. So, yes, the science matters, but how you apply it and who walks with you matters even more. Here's what many women don't realize: those IVF rates, they are about how well your body fits their process, not necessarily your body's ability to conceive. You see, IVF clinics need to retrieve a high quantity of eggs to work with. If your body isn't responding with lots of follicles or you're over 35, you might be told your chances are low or non existent. But here is what rarely gets discussed in that room. No one may ask about your egg quality and can that be supported nutritionally and hormonally? No one may address underlying inflammation, thyroid dysfunction, MTHFR, or gut absorption. No one may have looked at structural concerns, endometriosis, scarring, silent infections. No one may have spoken to your soul, to that emotionally told of trying to hold hope, but holding statistics. And yet, I have worked with women who were told they were not good candidates, women who had unexplained infertility, women told you'll need an egg donor. And after going through restorative care, and after working with their doctors, tracking their cycles, replenishing their bodies, shifting their mindset, they have gone on to conceive naturally more than once. Was it fast? No. Was it fruitful? In every sense. And just to bring this home, I actually have an entire episode with a woman who went through this exact journey. She was told she wasn't a good candidate. She was pushed to harvest as many eggs possible. Even though no one ever talked to her about inflammation, quality, or underlying health, she's still waiting on her transfer. But what have changed everything for her wasn't just protocols. It was finally understanding her body. So if you want to hear how all of this plays out in real time, with the heartbreak and the hope, go listen to that episode next. I'll link it in the show notes. It's a must listen. If you ever felt like the system was missing something, because it was. Let's bring it back to the equality, because this is where your power lives. Equality is about mitochondrial health. That's your cell's energy source. It is impacted by chronic stress, nutrient deficiencies, sleep, toxin exposure, inflammation, gut health, and hormonal regulation. All things that are within your influence, especially when you're supported. You cannot make more eggs, but you can improve the health of the eggs that you have. That's what a restorative reproductive care is all about. We look deeper than just an egg count. We look for why your body may be struggling to conceive or maintain a pregnancy. This isn't just about getting pregnant. This is about healing your whole system. Even if you're not trying to conceive, good eggs mean good hormones. And good hormones mean the smoother perimenopause, better mood, better metabolism, and better sleep. You don't need to be perfect to be fertile. You just need to be supported, body, mind, and spirit. Now, if you're someone who wants to go deeper into equality, one book that I often recommend is It Starts with an Egg by Rebecca Fed. It is science-backed and packed with insights about how lifestyle, supplements, and environment impact your fertility. But here is a disclaimer. This book can be overwhelming. And if you're already in a place of, I have tried everything, it may trigger more anxiety than hope. So I only recommend it when you got support, someone to help you apply the science without falling into shame or all or nothing thinking. And here's where I come in. My one-on-one coaching is where we take all of this knowledge and we build a plan around your real life, your values, your symptoms, and your goals. It's not about being perfect. It's about being supported medically, emotionally, spiritually, because you were never meant to why not go your way through this. Please don't wait. But many women ask me, when should I seek help if I'm trying to get pregnant and I'm not seeing results? This depends on your age. If you're in your 20s or early 30s and have been trying for a year with no success, don't wait any longer. If you're 35 and older, give it around 6 months max. And if you're 40, don't wait more than 3 months before asking questions. I also make sure you're asking the right people who look beyond egg counts and retrieval rates, people who will help you understand what your body is trying to say, not just override it. You might be thinking, I've done everything. I have changed my diet. I tracked my ovulation. I prayed. I cried. And if you're seeing someone else get pregnant without doing any of that, while you're here using glass containers and switching your shampoo, I see you. It is not fair, but it's also not your fault. You're not broken. You're not behind. You do not have to do this alone. Whether you're just starting, recovering from a failed IVF, or unsure if motherhood it is still in your reach, there is still a space for hope. There is still time for healing. If this episode spoke to you, send it to a friend, reach out to us, and check the link at the show notes for my 28 hormonal reset. Because this work isn't just about pregnancy, it's about wholeness. And that is always worth restoring. Thank you for being here and for being brave enough to ask hard questions and for choosing to care for yourself with grace, not guilt. Until next time, stay nourished, stay hopeful, and keep listening to your body. She's speaking.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, we got a special treat for you. Join our free Facebook group where you can connect with other amazing women and share your thoughts. Join us by clicking in the link in the show notes. We can't wait to welcome you into our supportive community. And don't forget to come back for our next episode, where we'll be sharing even more inspiring stories, encouraging tips, educational insights, and practical strategies. Oh, and before you go, we have a tiny favor to ask. If you found today's episode uplifting and helpful, please leave us a review. It's like giving us a virtual hug, and it helps other amazing women like you find our show. Plus, it makes us smile from ear to ear. And hey, why stop there? Share the love. Tell your Betsies, your mom, your sister, and even your favorite barista about our podcast. The more, the merrier.